everyone, and welcome back
Hello.
to our podcast, the Dubs and Dollface podcast.
Like
Again,
the fourth reincarnation of this podcast.
yeah, I feel like we're actually going to have like a rebrand again.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to change the name and everything. So basically, for those of you that don't know, in my recent video that is up today, the 23rd, if you're watching it on 23rd, this is probably not going to go out on the 23rd, so I don't know why I'm saying this anyway. But in this video, I mentioned that at the end we're bringing the podcast back, but instead of like actually doing a structured podcast, we're just gonna talk shit.
Yeah, it kind of made us put it off, didn't it?
Yeah, because we couldn't be asked doing any research, and
We wouldn't decide on topics fully
yeah.
on what, because I'd find one that I know too much about and you don't, and vice versa. Like you'd find one I didn't know anything. It'd just make it unbalanced in the talking aspect.
Yeah, so we just thought instead we're just gonna create a normal shit talking life update podcast that you can whack on when you're doing a bit of cooking or you're in the car driving somewhere.
Mining in Minecraft and it's boring and you need something to fucking tune it out with.
That's right. But that does mean we have to be entertaining, and unfortunately I don't know if we're funny enough for this.
Yeah, I've got an amazing first order of protocol
Really?
to show Lucy on
What?
this. If anybody on the March the 23rd, 2026, Lucy, have you seen Dwayne Johnson in the Moana remake?
No.
Oh no. Just as a personal thing, I fucking hate The Rock anyway. Because he hates John Cena and he hates CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, so he can get fucked. But my god, he looks bad. I'm pulling up.
I'm on the edge of my seat
Yeah.
right now.
You know what Maui looks like?
Yeah. Big guy, yeah.
Who's voiced by The Rock?
Yes.
Yeah, so you really hear this Polynesian character voiced by The Rock who's built like a brick house, and you're like, that's just The Rock.
Yeah. I'm going to have to insert a picture here. I'll show you it anyway, but I will also insert the picture if you're watching.
Directly underneath this tweet.
I was going to say that.
Directly underneath this tweet is handsome Squidward.
I was going to say that is exactly how I would describe it.
But like, if this stops him returning to WWE and fucking...
Yeah, then do your thing, I guess.
I'll let him have it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it when I was downstairs earlier, and I was like, I can't show you it until we get on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't appreciate you showing me that, actually. I could have lived without seeing that.
Yeah, if you ever needed evidence that Disney live action remakes are total slop and shouldn't
Yeah.
exist, I think this is...
That's it.
Especially when Moana's, like 10 years old.
I mean, how many wrestlers... This actually segues quite nicely into the other debate that we need to bring up on this topic, because how many... So, for those of you that don't know, Tobias is, like, special interest. By the way, Tobias is, like, you are autistic as fuck.
My worryingly
Like, it's
niche
unreal. As soon as me and him first met, I was like, are you autistic? And he's like, I've never been checked. And I'm
I
like...
did get kept behind in assembly in school, though. For like, reading and writing reasons. I think my mother worked at this school, and I think that's the only reason I got bypassed from all of this.
There's definitely something going on in the little head of yours, and that's okay, that's okay. But Tobias's special interest is WWE, like, absolutely obsessed with it. I've never, before I met you, so, like, I'll bring up this tirade a little bit later, but before I met you, I'd never watched WWE. I didn't know who anyone
You
was.
like John Cena.
And maybe
And
Rhea
The Rock.
Ripley,
And The Rock.
because I knew she was hot.
Yeah.
That was it. And then I met you, and then, we started hanging out with, like, a group of friends, and we started watching it, and I got really into it, and I was like, hell yeah. I could ask you any question about WWE, and you'd have an answer.
Yeah, if it's after, like, 95,
Yeah,
I've
you
got
would
a good
have an
choice.
answer.
Yeah.
It's insane. So, how many wrestlers have actually had successful movie careers? Because The Rock is one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, the three that come to your head, well, Cena. Cena's a lot of comedy stuff and all that shit.
Yeah.
The Rock. I think Dave Bautista.
Okay.
Dave Bautista's the goat in all of this, though, because he's in like the best movies.
And the
He's
reason
in James Bond. He's in Dune. You know what I mean? He's in like real movies.
Yeah, and the reason I bring this up is because we want right. So the other night we were chilling at my house, right? My parents have gone away for the week, so I love hosting, right? It's my favorite thing to do. I absolutely love hosting. I love putting a full fucking spread on. I love having people round at the dining table in the living room. We made a quiz, didn't we? It was brilliant. We had so much fun. And as the night was like winding down, a couple of people started to leave. I was like, hey, let's watch the Fred movie. All I have to say, before it's time.
Yeah, honestly, it gets a lot of shit.
It's so good.
I think The only times I've ever watched this, though, I've been 6 years old or in some form of substance-induced state. So at all times, I've not really had a clear mind, I think.
It's so good. I used to watch it when I was a kid, right? And you know, sometimes you get clouded by nostalgia. You're thinking, like, is that film really good? Or is it, like, just because I liked it when I was a kid? I used to have it on, like, Sky Record. So every weekend I'd get up and it would be the first thing I would put on Saturday morning would be the Fred film. And literally, I was like, fuck it, we'll watch it. We were howling all the way through it. It's so
even our
funny.
friend who was, it's not that good. Fucking like 5 minutes in.
Yeah,
5 minutes in, he was locked in.
It's so funny, literally. And obviously John Cena's in that film, which I forgot about. I don't
know how you forgot. That's like the best bit. Is John Cena beating the shit out of Fred.
Oh my god, it's so peak, right? But then we get into like this discourse, this group of us. There's like me, you. They won't mind us mentioning. There's me, you, Tyler, Ethan, Sam.
Yeah.
And Tobias just goes, he's wearing a wig. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, Fred's wearing a wig. And I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's 100% wearing a wig.
He's not wearing a wig. Because the scene.
If he's not wearing a wig, he's got so much hairspray on. That's like volumizing that shit.
It's not volumized. It's just
it looks like it's like out here.
But your hair does that sometimes.
Well, yeah, but I'm real.
So is Fred. There is literally a scene in the film where he's like upside down. You can see his hair fall back. There's no lace. He's not wearing a lace front. He is not wearing a wig. That is his hair.
You know,
Did you never watch like Fred growing up?
Yeah, but his hair looked different in
No, it doesn't.
the YouTube.
It does not. It does
His
not.
hair was like a lot more comically large, I remember, in the YouTube videos.
Do you think?
But I was just going to say, surely this is the scene I always bring up in the second one. But surely the way we decide this...
I've seen the second one
is in the second one when they're on SmackDown and Fred has a wrestling match. Surely that's the deciding factor as to whether it's a wig or not.
What?
Right, so I'm gonna pull because no one ever believes this because it's that much bullshit.
Because obviously the Fred franchise is like a Nickelodeon film. Like it has my baby girl Jeanette McCurdy in the first film.
It has
then she doesn't come back.
The lady from Victorious.
Trina.
It
has her. And then I have only watched the second one once when it first came out. So I knew it was like about a vampire and then at the end...
Night of the Living Fred, yeah.
Yeah, he turns out he is a vampire, but I've never seen it since.
Right, yeah, so in a dream sequence... Right, so Kevin, like the bully who Fred hates, is friends with this teacher. So in the dream sequence, it cuts to them on an actual episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown having a tag team match. And this was recorded like after the show in real life. And I've just read like forum pages of people being really fucking confused. Because it'd be like 25-year-olds who... because it was like 2010, didn't really know what Fred was, and they were like, what the fuck is this guy with John Cena in like prime John Cena?
In like pajamas as well.
Yeah, because he's having a dream, obviously, yeah.
Another thing I was going to say as well, watching the film, because obviously I used to watch it as a kid, I genuinely believed that John Cena was his actual dad. But it took me like
It wasn't until I explained it.
No, it took me until like a couple, because we watched it before, a couple months ago, was it? Maybe a good few months ago.
Together, I mean, yeah, then we watched it as a group.
Yeah. And then it took me, I like clicked. I was like, oh, the reason they picked John Cena to be his dad is because
you can't see him.
He
doesn't know his dad.
Not his dad.
He doesn't know his dad.
So
you can't see him.
I didn't realise that was the bit, but I thought it was so clever. But that's one of those things that like I only realised now as an adult. That went right over my head as a kid.
Like, John Cena.
Because then there's even that bit in the film where obviously the main character Judy moves away and the mum says when they view the house on Google Maps that she moved to, there's the guy in the bathroom and the mum's like,
I got him with him like 16 years ago.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm 16. And she's like, I'm taking a nap. And then it's like, oh, like, again, went over my head as a kid. But if you haven't watched Fred or you've, like, watched it as a kid, go and rewatch it. It's so funny. It's genuine.
You have to buy it on Prime, I think. I don't think it's on anything. Of course it's not on anything.
Another thing we noticed was the amount of 6-7 references in that film.
It's weird. They keep saying it, and it was like, as I said, we were pissed when we were watching this.
And also, this was 2010.
I mean, I had a job interview where they said 6-7, and I really had to not.
But, like, there was a thing where it was the bus. he's supposed to get the number 7 bus, and he gets on the number 6.
That's
And then
really
at one
tough.
point, he runs out of a toilet cubicle that has the number 67 on it. He runs out of toilet number 67. And obviously watching that, we were like, this movie's 16 years old. Maybe Fred predicted the 6-7.
You know that fucking like meme format where it's like the puppeteer and it's all like different lenses, and we like like the working operation. I feel like Lucas Cruikshank's the top of this. Like he's controlling. It's like Lucas Cruikshank, like the FBI. Then
What is he actually doing with his life now?
I think he just made bang. If I'm being real,
Give a Google right
probably
now.
has a podcast, if I'm being
what is
real.
our Lucas up to? Because I remember, didn't he used to date that? He used to date a Disney girl. I'm sure he did, or she was in like an episode of Jessie or something. But I think he's gay.
yeah, I remember him at least being bi at mouth. I know he has a YouTube channel. That's why I've searched that up.
Is he still posting?
You still got 100,000 plus views.
No
on his
fucking
video.
way.
Yeah, so fair
Let me have
enough.
a look at that. He's still like active. Hell, I mean, he rarely uploads, but
Well, that's
like
probably because he's getting decent
those
views.
views,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's bang. Good for him. I'm glad to see he's doing good. Good for him.
He looks the exact same.
That's
as well.
what, and it's not a wig.
Well, no, because that hair's a lot shorter.
If you go on videos and if you click, that is not a fucking wig. 17 years ago, that hair is huge. That is just how people used to have their hair 20 years ago. That was the MySpace thing.
I mean, I have my hair like this as well. You know, what
Your
I mean?
hair goes like that naturally.
Yeah.
Are you convinced yet that he's not wearing a wig? I even Googled it, and Google was probably like, "What the fuck are
Who
you
the fuck
talking about?
searching about the Fred movie in 2026?
Who's Fred, and who is wearing a wig? Will you wear wigs? He's not wearing a wig."
I stand by it.
I need to finish this debate as well. If any of you have seen the Fred movie, I need you to please
We need
convince.
to put a poll on some bullshit.
Yeah,
we
we'll
need to put a poll.
I'll put a poll, and you
I'm gonna
guys
buy
can.
bots to entirely to vote yes wearing a wig.
He's not wearing a wig. He's not wearing a wig.
Coming back to the weird wrestlers and movies, right? The best place to find these is the other special interest I have of shitty action movies from the late 90s, early 2000s, which coincides perfectly with wrestling's peak popularity. So you'll just watch them and just people will show up. Like, I think it's a Blade Trinity or Blade 2, just Triple H shows up and he's just playing a character and he's fucking awful in
Man,
it.
you'd love Neil Breen movies.
Yeah.
You'd love that shit. Curtis Connor. We've been watching like a lot of Curtis Connor at the moment as well. Like all
When there's
those
nothing
bullshit
to,
YouTubers.
yeah, when there's nothing to fucking do.
Yeah, we watch a lot of that, and he does like a lot of reaction videos to it. I'll have to show you them later.
He showed me
But...
one of them, it was newest one.
Oh yeah, we did. It wasn't as good though. What else do we watch? What else have you been watching lately?
Teen Mom.
Oh my god!
Teen Mom UK. Oh, you know. the
I
local
honestly
one.
think this might be a controversial take, but the UK version of anything is just better.
I mean, we are from the UK.
No, but
so
like-
it inherently makes it a bit better.
Well, yeah, but like the UK Teen Mum version is just better.
90 Day Fiance.
The UK version is peak as fuck. What was
because they'd be going anywhere as
Yeah,
well.
and
Like,
you can relate a little bit, I guess, but I mean, I feel like that's the point.
yeah. And also, they've just got weapons because they're from the UK.
Weapons.
Like, it's a nation of fucking weapons.
Yeah, that is very, very true. But yeah, you're
Is it that fucking motorbike?
that fucking motorbike every day.
Next door neighbour has this motorbike, and honestly, like,
That's the one thing I'm not going to miss when we move away.
yeah.
That fucking
That
motorbike.
motorbike is fucking
Every
tragic.
day. Like 3 times a day. It's usually louder than that as well
Yeah.
in defence.
It's usually like somebody just walked down and started spraying a machine gun.
Yeah,
but I think
it's
even that will be
crazy.
quieter.
But yeah, your knowledge of WWE has always interested me.
Yeah.
Even like before we got together.
Well, I feel like it was the ultimate starting match to show you was the Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero custody of Dominic Mysterio ladder match. Where just for wrestling plot where it makes absolutely no fucking sense. The entire backstory of this was that Rey Mysterio, greatest luchador of all time.
He's retiring.
But yeah, he is. Touchy subject. And his best friend in real life decided to make a storyline that Rey's son is actually Eddie's son. and the way they decided this was having a ladder match where the adoption papers for Dominic are hanging above the ring.
Making him what?
And they're making a 5-year-old child and at one point he gets in the ring and like Eddie's gonna beat the shit out of him. Anyway, you fast forward 20 years later to now, And he is one of the
He
biggest
still
wrestlers in
isn't he, as
yeah,
well?
yeah, Eddie Guerrero, his legacy is lived on by Dom Mysterio now being one of the biggest wrestlers on earth. And he kind of just randomly references this match.
Yeah, but I remember, like, as well, you were the one that introduced me to, like, the story of Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah.
That was like, so let me break it down for you, Mordecai. Me and you met. What year did we meet?
23.
Must have been 23, and obviously I met you through Ethan.
Yes.
So we have a mutual friend called Ethan.
My school friend.
Very close friend. Me
Yeah.
and Ethan have had a rocky couple of years, but we love him. He's back now. All is good
Me
in
and
the
him went to
hood.
school together, so that's how we
Yeah.
knew each other.
So we met through Ethan, and obviously you had another friend as well, and you guys clocked on that this was like before I was into YouTube. This was when I was like primarily TikTok in like 2023, and you guys had like clocked on that I was like this. I don't want to say successful because I don't want to toot my own horn.
I mean,
but
now
like
I'd say so, you know what I
big
mean? No,
TikToker was my thing, and you guys were like, "Have you heard of Chris Benoit?" And I was like, "Who?" And then you were like, "You've never heard of Chris Benoit?" And I was like, "No," but the reason why I'd never heard of Chris Benoit is because
they wiped this bitch.
They did.
They wiped this bitch so much. I didn't know who he was until I was like 15.
Yeah, because
And I like watched WWE huge amount as a child. I saw him in a video game because obviously this game would have been released before, and I just thought he was just one of those shitty like nobody people. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think he was like a Cena or a Punk or something like that. I thought he was just a random guy. But no, this guy like won the Royal Rumble 5 days after I was born. Main event WrestleMania. Like he was like a big fucking guy.
And he killed his whole family.
And that's the reason they wiped him. He
murdered his whole
wife,
entire family.
His family using wrestling moves.
And then
because he asphyxiated them.
Then to himself. And yeah, it was a whole thing, but I had no idea. And then,
immediately after, he did it on a Sunday and WWE was live on a Monday. So
no, he did it on the Friday.
Oh, it was
Nancy was the Friday,
Sunday, wasn't it? Yeah.
Daniel was the Saturday.
So it's discovered on the Sunday. And then WWE happens on the Monday. So on that Monday, they did an entire memorial show for him in the same way that they have for like general just old people who die. And like, we respect him. He was a member of our sport. And then it came out the next day. Oh no, he did it to his family. However, it has came out that maybe Vince McMahon, the head of WWE, fucking just knew the whole time.
Yeah.
And just ran a memorial show the entire
crack.
time.
Yeah, just for the crack. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, you and I...
There's so many fucking YouTube videos on
on that
shit. There's like documentaries. It changed sport forever as well.
It changed like safety policies and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also like become a little... It sounds awful. Maybe this shows how... Maybe we shouldn't talk about this on a podcast, but it just shows that like me and you don't really take a lot seriously. It's become a little bit of a meme.
Well, I think that's kind of the issue of the wrestling fandom, is it exists in such a vacuum.
Yeah.
But it's like the 9/11 thing where like it's been around so long, it's been talked about so much,
and it's the fact I think
but nobody it don't feel like it actually happened anymore.
The fact that they tried to cover it up as well, I think it makes it so much more like taboo, if you will, as well. Not that like the murders are a meme, that's not what I mean, but like the whole entity of Chris Benoit himself is just
because if anybody is inside WWE now, I mean, there's I want to see this guy. If you go on Netflix, as I say, he's a big guy. Half the fucking shit is on Netflix. Like Royal Rumble 2001, every single match you see of Chris Benoit, you there's a moment where you go, oh. Like
that was the one that did it.
Yeah, it's like
that one did it.
It's like it was gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
Somebody was
What
gonna
was
get that
it?
much.
When
of a
we were
brain
watching,
problem.
like they'd erased him that much. Like John Cena, one of the biggest wrestlers as well. When we watched his retirement match, and you'd said he'd only ever tapped out for three people, and one of them was Chris. And we said, "Do you think they'll mention it?" I don't think they did.
They mentioned it was 3 people, but
they never.
Sorry, they mentioned it was. Yeah, it was 3 at that point, and now it's 4.
Yeah, but they never said.
But they
his name.
only said Jericho and Angle.
I'm gonna have to.
They only said Jericho and Angle, which obviously are 2 huge. That's the kind of level Chris Benoit was on. He was compared to Jericho and Angle. And it was even weird because fucking Jericho doesn't even work for WWE anymore, and they felt comfortable mentioning him, but no, they'd say he only tapped out 3 times and then just said 2 people, and it was like, and you even get this on the Netflix descriptors. Like
they're just empty, aren't they?
Well, every single one you'll go on, we'll say, I don't know, I'll say Royal Rumble this year, it'd say Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre 5 for the title, and you're like, all right, I know I'm going in. If there's any Chris Benoit match, it will say Kurt Angle and and it just won't say it. It will say Kurt Angle or Kurt Angle gets in a fight, and you're like, who the fuck's he fighting? Oh, that's who he's fighting, because you skip past, they can't actually say it. The subtitles don't say it.
No. Does he not?
No, I don't know if it's on Netflix, but on the app they used to have before Netflix, it wouldn't. And it would also, anytime they said WWF in the subtitles, it would say WWE.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, do you know what? I think because this is like our first proper podcast episode, should we talk about how we ended up getting together?
Yeah.
Leaving out some details.
Yeah,
but we can go from like how when I first met you, you were like this nerdy little long-haired.
I was seen as the cool one, the mysterious cool one.
There was you, and there was obviously the other friend, but like he was very talkative, and you were very quiet, mysterious, long hair. I thought you were like a skateboarder. I genuinely thought you were like this roller border guy, and you used to like come around to my house, and it was all fine.
I mean, I listened to the music and was a stoner, but I didn't skate, you know.
And then like
I LARPed. I did it all, but the skating part.
Yeah, and then you came back from uni, and it just sort of.
It was like we spoke to each other, you know what I mean? We spoke to each other one-on-one.
It was a friend night out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'd been out for this night out, and then like I'd sort of had a not Tobias, and then I was like, like, do you know when you get that moment where it's like, oh no, I couldn't. It's just something I'm conjuring up, and then we started like speaking. I was like, I'm gonna walk home. And I think you were like, oh, can I walk you home? And I was like, yeah, whatever.
because I was coming home as well. And I was like, it's not going to
2 years, you know.
It would only delay me like 10 years. Yeah. Not 10 years, 10 minutes.
Yeah, and we've been friends for a while at this point as well. So it was like, yeah, fuck it, let's walk home. We walk home. I give you a hug. See you later, you know, blah, blah, blah. As I'm like, we get to like a midpoint, don't we? And then I'm like, I'm going to go that way, you go that way. Yeah. So we get to there. I start walking. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking like, should I message him? Like that sort of thing. I get in, take my thing. I'm like drunk. Come in, take my stuff off, take my makeup off, get into bed. The bitch beat me to it.
I don't know how. It's like 15, 20-minute walk.
Hooky got home okay. I was like, I mean, and we didn't stop talking from that point on.
No, for a couple
we still
weeks.
haven't.
And then obviously we got together after that.
Yeah. And it was, we just didn't stop, did we?
Do you want a time frame on this? The day we said we liked each other was the day Superman came out.
Was it?
Because that's when I went to see it and then went on a night out immediately after.
Oh, yeah.
And then the day we actually officially got together was the day Hulk Hogan died.
Yeah, it was. It always comes back to wrestling. What the fuck? Yeah, I remember that. It was in Spoon. Yeah. He asked me to be his girlfriend in a Weatherspoons.
Well, no, it's because I was kind of like, surely, like, we are now. I mean, you just, like, offhand mentioned it. I was like, well...
You have to ask.
You have to ask. And I was like, oh.
You have to ask. And that was the same night someone filmed me. Do you remember that? Where I fucking ragged his phone out of his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were sat in, like, Spoons. If you don't know what Spoons is, it's basically a pub.
If you don't know what Spoons is, if you come to the UK, find out. Find out what Spoons is.
Spoons.
I think they might have it in Ireland if you end up in Ireland.
And obviously, like, alternative. I don't remember what I was wearing that night, but I like stuck out like a sore
so we probably did out.
And we live in like a shitty town where like it's not very alternative and
not for long though. Watch your space.
So true.
Watch your space.
So I like got up to go to the toilet, and as I was walking to the toilet, some guy like shoved his phone in my face, and he was like filming me. I don't know why I did it, but I grabbed his phone out of his hand and just kept walking. And I was like walking to the bathroom, and I was like, I have this guy's phone in my hand. So I just dumped it on a table and then went into the bathroom, and I was like, why did I do that? I was like, why did I do that? Like, what the fuck? Do you know, I just had a moment of like, now I have to walk out the bathroom and like sort it out. Yeah, sort it out. So I come out the bathroom and I just like walked back to my table, and there was a group of us, and I just said like, that guy just filmed me over there. Like, that was really fucking weird. And then one of my friends Sam had like clocked on, and Sam's like he gets quite defensive, doesn't he? He's very protective of
He's a boxer
people.
As well, so he's a big guy.
Very defensive of people, and he's very like, don't fuck with my mate sort of thing about him. So he like sort of walked to the bathroom and was like trying to work out who it was. And then a little while later,
he ran into him in the bathroom.
He ran into him in the bathroom, and then he came over to the table and was like apologized, and he was like, I'm sorry, like, he was like, I'll delete the video and I'll show you that I delete. But he did explain why he did it, and I don't remember what he said because I was that like caught off guard by it. I just remember being like, that's so like weird, like what the fuck. And then he was like, he was like a bit of a chav, but he was all right. Like he apologized and he was like very apologetic, but it was weird. That was really weird.
It was bizarre.
Wasn't it?
It was like 6 p.m.
Yeah,
it was not
late.
late.
Where have we been, or were we going somewhere?
I think we were going to. I won't name the pub just to not dox us, but I think we were going to a band thing. I think we were like not pre-gaming, but starting in the experience.
Yeah. Maybe, but
it's only down the road, so. And it was summer as well, so I think we went to go for beer garden, but then obviously it was July, so the beer garden was like the fucking fall of Rome, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, speaking of like weird encounters of people as well, where was it where you nearly fucking squared up to someone because they like grabbed me?
Oh, I can't name the pub. Once again, I can't name the pub.
No, don't name the pub, but was it where I think karaoke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that was mad. Literally, what, like... Obviously, fellow, like, alternative people will relate to this. If you live somewhere that's not, like, an welcoming... that's very much a Brexit, gammon,
white.
Karen, white...
Old. White aging community.
Old.
Yeah, white aging community.
Yeah, like, you'll relate to, like, going out to a pub and it being full of, like, either druggies, chavs, middle-aged people, or dickheads. There's sort of no infantry. And then you have like...
That's like 70% of
yeah, and then the rest is like cool, alternative, like...
Or just young people who don't give a shit. Yeah.
So we go into this bar, and this place is known for having like an older, rough clientele, but it's still great. And 9 times out of 10, it's always like really fun.
And the staff are great.
Staff are great, and when you actually get talking to some of these people in there, you realise that, like, oh, they're all right. Like, they're just people, do you know what I mean? It's fine. But some guy, I think I walked past him and he tried to, like, grab me or grab my head or something, and you just fucking turned around and were like, don't you fucking dare. And I was like, I've never seen you go like that, because you are quite calm and, like, reserved. I've never seen you blow up like that. What did you say?
I can't remember. I remember it happening, but I can't.
Yeah, and I like turned around and I was like... But it wasn't in a way of like threatening to beat him up. It was literally just like you turned around and you were like, fuck off. Yeah. Like you were calm about it and you were like protective, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, because you've never yelled at me. You've never like raised any like anything towards me. You've always been, even when we like, I get like argumentative, you still bring it down, and then we don't end up arguing because you are so like reserved. So seeing that side of you was like, because it was like, oh, there is a fire in there. It's like the only other time I've seen you do that is when you kicked off at Ethan. Oh my god! So like,
was that the same night? No,
no, that was a while ago. So basically, I'm sure.
No, I was meaning as the Hogan night. No.
Like I said, we've had a bit of the long story short, Ethan, we are very, very good friends with Ethan now. He is like one of our closest friends. But a little while ago, things were a bit rocky. Not to disper too many details because it's old drama, but like there was something to do with another girl, and this girl had sort of like pissed me off to the point where I kicked off. Now I am not confrontational whatsoever. I am very like, it takes a lot for, normally I'll walk away. I don't like screaming. My hands were like shaking after I'd done it. And Ethan had this like reaction, and we assumed that this reaction was because I'd kicked off. So Tobias like absolutely goes ham at Ethan, and I'm like, I was like, oh. To the point where Ethan doesn't say anything. He gets up, grabs his stuff and walks out, and we don't see him for like months until
January.
Well, actually, to be fair to Ethan, he did message the next day and was like,
we did actually quell it
and we
out.
talked it out, and it was fine. It was a big misunderstanding. He was like, no, that wasn't the reason, blah, blah, blah. So we quelled it out and everything was fine. But still to this day, he brings it up.
Yeah, in jest.
He's like, yeah, well, you shouted at me that one time and you made me sad. And it does make me feel like
Like I've kicked the dog.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's one of those, when like you have this big group of friends and things do get twisted, and it's just a part of having friends and being around people. And it was just a whole thing. But like, yeah, I'm so glad that we fixed that relationship with him. Like, genuinely, he's so cool. Ethan, shout out to Ethan if you're watching this. Big up Ethan.
Probably won't be, but
really
shout out.
I'm probably not even going to mention that. Oh no, I think I will bring it up that he's in the podcast.
Yeah,
it'll be funny.
Get those views.
He'll probably think it's funny, to be fair. Yeah, but it's crazy. We've had a lot of like I feel like we have a lot of drama, but we're not. I don't know. It's mellowed out a lot now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's because we've decided that we're moving, like, as well. It's very much like,
which is a Dollface exclusive.
I've mentioned it.
Oh, I was gonna say like
I've mentioned
tag Pop Crave and get them to repost. That's how we build the podcast. Is get them.
Yeah, fucking.
Let's get the Pop Crave boost.
Involved.
Discussing film. Get on this shit.
But yeah, we are literally the only thing, because I have, like I said, I have mentioned it on my main channel that we are moving away. We're looking at moving away. I've quit my job, which again. I'm debating whether or not to tell the podcast. Fuck it. I have 3 days left at my job, and you have 3 seconds to guess.
There might not even be 3 days by the time this is out.
I'm probably going to upload it pretty soon.
Oh.
But you have 3 guesses to guess what my job is. I was an early years practitioner. I was a nursery worker. I worked in a nursery. So everything that I upload on my channel is coming from a place of experience and like having to see it firsthand, which is why I'm so passionate about like keeping kids safe on the internet, making sure kids are kept safe, but also having the boundaries of actually sometimes the parents are to blame. Like I mentioned about how, how the government is trying to impose the 16 ban on social media.
And it's just so they can watch us.
Well,
like they're blaming, they're doing the classic, protect the kids bullshit.
I strongly disagree with it, and the reason why I disagree with it is because 16 is way too fucking old. At 16, yes, you are still a child, but you also at that age begin to have responsibilities. And I understand that it's being pushed by Brianna Jai's mum, who unfortunately, suffered the loss of her daughter, which no one should have to go through. So I am not like saying that she's wrong, because her feelings are totally valid on why it should be that, because if it was in place, maybe her daughter would still be here today. Totally get that she is not to blame. But you also have the people that use whatever their children get up to as a crutch.
Yeah, exactly.
The ban would only take away responsibility from parents, when really parents need to sometimes put their foot down and say your child is not having Snapchat at XYZ age. 13, I think, is the appropriate age.
The age, is not on the actual account system.
So if they can't even enforce a ban on 13-year-olds, which all these social medias have, by the way, you need to be 13 to create an account on Facebook, I think Twitter, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all of them, even TikTok, I think. Yeah. I could be wrong on that. But if they can't even impose a ban on that, which is the actual guideline, how the fuck are they going to impose it on 16-year-olds?
Well, also,
they're not, because VPNs exist.
The whole adult video thing has proved it doesn't fucking work.
Exactly. And the whole... I don't know if people can relate to this, but when I was younger, like, social media was like an escape for me. Like,
yeah, I think that's an age thing, though, for how old we are.
I disagree.
I don't think social media properly blew up to the extent it is now until we were in our teenage years.
Yeah, to be fair, like, if TikTok was a thing when I was younger.
Like, TikTok was blowing
when
up
I was in school.
Just as I'd left school.
Yeah, see, I'd already left by that point.
Yeah, like, I was in my last year of school when
if TikTok was a thing when I was in school, maybe it would be, maybe I would have a different outcome on this. But I firmly believe that the internet can be good for teenagers that are lost and struggling to make friends.
Need spaces, you know what I mean?
And that is what you are going to take away from people, and then that is going to cause more problems than it's worth.
Yeah.
The rates are going to increase, like, because people have no one to speak to. So many of these kids have, like, meaningful Discord relationships.
I was going to say, like, the whole Chronically Online thing exists for like a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're online for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just doing it for
that.
shits and gigs.
Exactly that. People are pushed online because they don't have people in real life. And if you take that away, you're going to create more problems. And I know Australia have already done it as well. I'd like to see like the statistics on that,
I mean,
actually.
if there's any fucking Aussies in here,
Yeah.
there's probably a few. They're English speaking.
But I'm
just say if it has actually done anything.
Has it improved like mental well-being and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I would love to know. But yeah, going back to the original point, yeah, that is my job. Well, was my job. That's gonna feel weird to say.
Yeah.
That was my job. But like, if I wasn't doing YouTube, do you know what I would love to do? I would love to go into schools and like do talks about like online safety and like being safe, but do it from like, because I feel like a lot of them just scaremonger.
And they also don't know what they're fucking on about. That was always the joke we had at school, is that they don't know what they're on about.
We used to have...
There's always the press report abuse button, and it will solve everything.
Yeah, and oh my God. There was another thing as well, like obviously in my line of work, when you work in a nursery or school, when you work with children or maybe even vulnerable elderly people, you'll get like training on online safety, and that was one of the things that I did as well. And lots of the time I'd just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, even if half the time the statistics of what they're saying is true, they present it in a way that paints it all out to be like Satan. Like, oh my God, this is so bad. Look at the statistic. But it's like, hold on a minute. Let's take a step back and let's think, why is this statistic so high? Why do these children have access to tablets? That's not the kids' fault.
Yeah, they didn't go into Curry's and buy themselves an iPad.
That's not the kids' fault. Parents do have to take responsibility for what their children are doing, and that is something that I will swear by, because at the end of the day, kids are still fucking kids. They're not fully developed up here. And that, like, it winds me up, because you also have to think as well, a 14-year-old will have moments of, like, being quite clever, being like, I know this is bad, I can block this, and I know to report it. Because a lot of parents, I don't know if it was the same for you as well, but, like, I felt quite safe to talk to my parents about stuff that were going on online, because they'd sort it, you know, they'd create this space to talk about it freely.
My mum works with kids,
exactly,
so it was a much easier.
There are so many parents that'll kick off at the kids when they're like, oh, Mum, I've gone on this website, I've got a virus, I've done this, I've done that. Instead of, like, talking about it and saying, it's fine, like, we'll sort it, this is good, they kick off, and then that makes kids
scared.
Not talk to them. That's why when kids come across something on YouTube, kids, they end up watching
Elsa Spider-Man.
And they get a virus.
Instead of watching, like, Bluey.
Or a jump scare video or something. They won't tell parents because they'll think it's their fault for watching it when it's not their fault. It's partially the parents, and that's why parents kick off, because I think deep down they know it's their fault. They know sometimes they are to blame, and there's nothing wrong with taking accountability for that. That doesn't make you a bad parent. Like,
it makes you a better parent.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong, and I say this a lot in my videos as well. There's nothing wrong with giving your kid an hour's worth of screen time, maybe even 2 hours of screen time a day, so you can get stuff done. The washing, the cooking, the cleaning. You need a break as a parent, that's fine. I'm not going to slate anyone for that. But make sure you know what the fuck they are watching. Yeah. They don't need YouTube. That I stand by.
I mean, but this is once again the social media didn't fully take over.
Yeah.
Because when we were watching YouTube when younger, it was, you know, it was Wild West YouTube. It was
so good.
It was when it wasn't like as predatory for kids. Yeah. It was just people doing
What was
shit.
Like your first YouTube video you ever watched?
Oh, fuck knows.
I have like
vivid memories of watching like some Lego animations in like 2008, but like I couldn't tell you what the first is. You know
I remember watching this video, and I think it could even be lost media now. Actually, the only vivid memory I have in like so when I was a kid, we used to have like a desktop computer.
Yeah, as did we. I mean, yeah, this is 2000s,
and it'd be in the kitchen, and obviously I had unrestricted access because my parents didn't know anything about it, and. Do you know what? I'm glad I did, because I'm fucking hilarious, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I think that's why.
How I feel.
But there was a video, I used to be obsessed with annoying orange.
As did I.
That was like the one. But I remember as a kid, actually now thinking about it, this is a bit fucked. As a kid, I remember watching this like spoof of Annoying Orange, and it was like, it was like, I can't even like explain it. I'm going to see if it still exists, actually. I don't know where I've put my phone. But it was like this spoof of Annoying Orange.
That's my phone.
And he gets shot in the head, But it was like funny. I don't actually think I'm
You're
going
on
to be able to
YouTube
find
then.
it. Well, I was actually going to try and Google it because I don't. Hold on a minute. Annoying orange spoof gets shot. Like, he just tells this guy a joke, and the guy like just goes and just points the gun and shoots him. But it's obviously like it's not. I actually think this could be lost media. Now I'm thinking about it. I just want to see if there's a screen. Nah, it's well and truly gone. But if anyone else knows what video I'm talking about, he like it's like a masked guy. He tells this guy a joke, and then he like pulls out this gun and shoots him in the head. And I was like 8 watching that, but I used to think it was like the best thing ever. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, this is I had similar with I don't know if this fact what I'm gonna say exists, but the Forest Fire 101 like a Batman videos. If anyone knows the Duck song, it's the same guy who made them. Like a 7-year-old child should not be watching them, but fuck me,
Yeah.
they're funny, bro. Like I was like, oh Lego and Batman, yeah. Nah, like they're just fucked up, but it's all like actually quite funny. Like it's got that aura of like early Family Guy South Park, where like it's just an adult animation thing.
I've never
And like
been
it's
a fan of
completely outrageous, but it's fucking. I've watched it when I was like 20, and it was hilarious.
I think. Oh, hold on a moment. No, it's gone. It's fucking gone. It's definitely lost media. Let me try one more time. It was like a really old. Nah, it's totally
It would have like
gone.
10,000 views, though. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, like that was the type of shit that I'd watch at like that vulnerable age, and
Yeah.
it is what kids watch. And like, yeah, I wouldn't change it, but like looking back,
Because I got my first tablet when I was like 10. I got an iPad for Christmas in like 2013. But
I mean-
like, it wasn't the same. It was
No.
literally just using it to watch YouTube. That was
Yeah.
it. That was all I used it to watch.
but YouTube, you
and
would
play,
watch.
but the games you play would be like Angry Birds and like the ones
yeah,
that were big at the time.
yeah.
It wasn't before like these companies were like, oh, kids are using this shit. We
Let's
can like
make money."
yeah, we can like exploit these kids.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy the amount of money like kids bug the pet. Did I tell you that? Speaking of like money and stuff, did I tell you when my nephew got scammed on Roblox
You did, yes.
when he like played the game? So basically, Roblox had this thing, and this is another way like how these companies like get kids to like spend actual money and bullshit. He'd spend all morning because he was playing Roblox, and they got an advert for like free Robux. It was like, if you reach level 10,000 on this game, you'll get 5 million free Robux. So my poor 7-year-old, I think he was like 7 at the time, my poor 7-year-old nephew, by the way, I don't agree with him playing Roblox as well, I want to make that clear. I've
Actually,
had
first
that
time I
out
played
before.
Roblox, I was like 13.
Yeah, I don't agree with him
Yeah.
playing Roblox at that age, but he's not my kid, so, but yeah, he came round, and I was like, what are you up to? And he was like, oh, I have to play this game, I have to get to this level, and I'll get these free Robux, and I was like, I had to like break it to him that like, it's not how it works. And
I
but
remember
another
watching
thing-
the GTA
but
5
another
$3
thing was-
videos.
Another thing was, his mum also didn't know. So I also was explaining to my sister, like, come on, Soph, like, that's not how it works, you know what I mean? So then I had to, like, I was teaching him and teaching her, and I felt that bad because he'd spent all day on this fucking game that I gave him, like, 20 quid, and I was like, go mad. I was like, if you want to get some Robux, do what you want to do, that's fine. So I think I won anti-points there.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? I mean, we've hit like 40 minutes. Should we?
I think this is the only time we've paused.
Yeah, we've been like constant
But
flowing,
like,
haven't we?
yeah, back in the, I just watched like Dan TDM or like Popular MMOs or the
Yeah.
Oxcast on YouTube, and I'd have a fucking great
I
time.
really used to like Tobuscus.
I never did.
Did
so
you not?
never-
No, I
like I
used to
knew
really
of
like-
him. You know, he was
Yeah,
huge,
I liked
but,
his
like,
Minecraft
I'd watch like
videos.
Jacksepticeye. You know what I mean? But
And then I liked Dan and Phil as well, but that was like a little bit
when you were
a
a bit
little bit
old,
later.
when you were
Yeah,
older,
I actually like can't remember who I used to watch.
But like these were like real. You know what I mean? These
A
are like
bit
the
more authentic.
these are like the equivalent to like when you're on the TV and you put like as a kid, you'd put The Simpsons on, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's probably targeted for people a bit older, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
That, like, you know,
still watch
it's a real
it.
thing that people watch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're not melting your brain.
Yeah.
As opposed to some of the shit that, like, Nickelodeon would have had back then.
We'll have to. I think we'll wrap this up because otherwise we could talk for days.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
And we're hungry.
I was thinking that as well. I'm fucking starving. What do you want for tea, by the way?
Salmon.
Well, we could have salmon, or we could make those pizzas. But salmon does go out a day. But I don't know if I'm fancying salmon. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm fancying the pizza. You could have those tacos.
What tacos?
I thought you were getting the stuff for tacos, weren't you?
I didn't get any.
What?
I didn't get any.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, well, we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out. But yeah, this is like the reality of like living together and stuff. We practically live together, don't we?
We do, yeah. We've
not spent a night apart since Christmas.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went on holiday before then,
Yeah.
didn't I? Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for listening or watching this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed. And if you prefer this, like, style, I guess, of podcast, please let us know because I'd be more than happy to continue this because this was so much fucking easier than all the researching and stuff.
We just did shit,
Yeah, like, because I found it hard, like, on top of, like, my actual scripts and stuff.
I mean, I'd come home from work.
And it's like...
And then I'd have to reread it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just so much more fun. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for listening or watching to this podcast. If you want to follow any other social medias, like my main channel, TikTok, all that stuff, links will be down below in the description. So make sure you check that out. I'll link both of our Instagrams as well, so you can go and follow and be updated with all that stuff. But yeah, until the next one, don't forget to subscribe and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.